basically this whole project opened you up to endless projects, and now your head's just going off with concepts and how to put these quick projects together.
Yes.
You can try to knock off 2 or 3 a year, and
yes,
everything's lovely.
Yes, yes, we do. I mean, basically, Jennifer is more of the business person, and she came up with the idea for Treachery, which is our next movie that we shot in 7 days?
8 days.
8 days. We shot that at our house, and
Never Again.
So that's the next one, and then we're in talks with Jenn, who directed Divide, to do a movie called The Farm early next year. And you know, we're just always looking for material now. You know, if I find something I really like, I'll direct it, but I got to be really passionate about it because it really takes. I mean, I'm still working on the movie. As I sit here and talk to you, I'm still working on the movie. You know, so it has to be something I'm really passionate about. I am really passionate about that. We've shown that movie now probably in 20 cities across the United States, in Europe, Spain, and Ireland, and
we're still in
Japan.
Selling. We're still selling overseas.
You know, but first we had to get the distributor, and then Anchor Bay jumped on at a price that we were real happy with, and but we're out here selling. I mean, that's what we're doing here today, is out here selling, and so there's a lot to it. If you're going to kind of like run a little mini studio, there's a lot more to it than making a movie, you know, and we're kind of learning that.
As we go.
Yeah, and the lawyers and the contracts and so on and so forth, but it's been fun. The thing about it is when I made this movie, I said to the guys who came up with the money, it was such a small amount of money, I said to them, I'll make this movie, okay? But because I didn't want to be embarrassed by, you know, having my head cut off in some scene, something, you know, or have it look bad, or I said, I'll make this movie, but I have to make all the creative decisions, and I have to make all the production decisions, and I have to decide when we sell it and who we sell it to. And they said, okay, so now I have the kind of Steven Spielberg contract for the, you know, mini movies, and it's a great place to be, you know, because now nothing comes out from Blog Beat Productions that I haven't looked at, put my stamp on, and said, okay, well, this is the best we can do with this one. Let's ship it out there. And that way, you know, it's tough out there now, also because of the recession. It just isn't that much work. And so therefore, a lot of actors are coming down. You see people like Dustin Hoffman doing television series and so on and so forth. And it's just not worth it for me to go out and work in episodic television. And I'd rather we'd rather be doing this ourselves, you know, creating stuff ourselves, hiring other actors.
And owning some things that we made.
How does someone submit a script to you guys?
The way to get us is that, first of all, start a conversation at blogbeanproductions@gmail.com, and then probably at this point we'd have to have like something signed through our attorneys, and then depends. I mean, if it's a friend, if it's a conversation going on, but if it's just an unsolicited script that somebody wants to get to us, we probably have to have it go through somebody that works for us, like an intern or something, to read it, write a synopsis, and then we love the synopsis, then we read it.
It started out
because it's just started. It's so much. It's for 2 people to go through, so we're starting to expand and hire people. And as that happens, it'll be easier for us to get through stuff quicker.
Yeah, I mean, we started it because of the success of The Victim. It's just like exploded to where, like, you know, I was getting calls every day. You know,
it's wonderful. It's just hard to.
And it is wonderful, yeah. And but you know, I'm actually a slow reader and a very hesitant reader. I actually read a script last week. It was very, very good. We took some meetings with the young filmmaker. He didn't want to give up his rights to, and I understand that. You know, I mean, I understand he's a young guy. He wants to make his movie, and you know, but usually almost any director who's working for a studio, unless you're Spielberg, unless you're Cameron or whatever, you know, you don't get final cut on your movie. I mean, Cameron didn't even have final cut on his movie, I don't believe, when we were doing The Abyss. Because I remember the end he wanted to put on was not the end that the studio wanted to put on. So it's a tough thing to be, and you're not going to find too many people that are going to give give you money and then say, okay, do anything you want, make a 4-hour movie, you know. And so we kind of parted ways with that company, but you know, God bless them. I hope they got a great script.
They may come back to us, but they've kind of left it open, like, we'll come back to you, we'll show you some footage, and we'll have a discussion. But he was very clear in the meetings that if you want to offer me a role in your movie as an actor or her role, go ahead. But if you want us to produce it, this is where I stand.
And the reason why is because if you're making movies for $300,000, $400,000, or $200,000, $300,000, whatever that is, you can look really bad really fast. If you're standing on a set that looks really stupid, first of all, you have to have a really good story. Really good stories don't just pop out of the air. They usually come from really good writers who have already, you know, sold scripts and so on and so forth. So it's very rare to find a script that like nobody else has read in option or whatever, you know. But you know, in choices that are made in casting, and choices that are made in production and in locations and so on and so forth. Somebody might want to look. They basically shot the victim in one large location. All the inside. We have a. Have you seen the movie? You haven't seen it? Okay. Basically, when you watch the movie, there's a lot, not a lot, but maybe 10 minutes of the movie takes place inside of a car. So basically, we're inside of the car, closest back and forth in the car, you know. But because of where we shot it, which was Los Angeles, and we're supposed to be out in the middle of nowhere, we basically went up to some guy's house who had foliage around his driveway, and he had a circular driveway, and we just went and we drove in circles around this guy's driveway because he had foliage on both sides, you know. And, you know, that's kind of how you get things done, you know. And, but, you know, it's kind of fun to try to come up with ways. And when I made the movie, I thought, I'm going to make a movie, I'm going to make it for this amount of money, it's going to be small, but it's going to look really good, and then I'm going to prove to a mini studio or to somebody, look, I made this movie for this much money, the investor made this much money back, we even made money, so how about giving me twice as much or 3 times as much and let me make this movie? But instead we turned around and made a movie for half the price. Yeah, and
it'll
so
end up being close, but cash-wise, you know.
and it's just so, for me, after 50 years, really it's been about 35 years of saying other people's lines, being told where to show up, when to show, which I love, by the way. I mean, I loved acting and everything, but I worked on so many scripts that were like, you know, and you know, you try to get them to change, and so many people are headstrong and like, well, no, we don't change it, you know, like, can we use the word and instead of the? Well, let's check with the network, and it's just like, it's just ridiculous, you know, and a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense. A lot of people tell you when you first start working with them, we'll make those changes, and they never do. And you're under contract, and you have to make those. You have to do what they tell you to in the long run. So this has been a way to kind of just free ourselves from that, like, you really have to say the stupid line, you know, you have to wear the stupid outfit, and you have to play a scene with an actress who's supposed to be a psychiatrist, and to be a psychiatrist, she's got to be 31, but she's only 18. You know, I mean, it happens, stuff like that happens all the time.